So today's lesson is working with circles, and we are moving on to finding the area and circumference of a circle. And to begin today, like always, we have a warm-up. The first one, we just have to simplify the expression. And remember PEMDAS, or order of operations. Start with anything in parentheses. Notice we have none, so move on. Next, we have exponents. Two things have exponents, so let's simplify. 72 plus 5 times 9 minus 1. Exponents are done. Next is multiplication and division, which is right here. 72 plus 45 minus 1. And then an addition and subtraction comes last, and we always go left to right. So 72 plus 45 is 117 minus 1 leaves us with a grand total of 116. Nice and easy. Our second problem is to find the simple interest on $5,000 at a 6% interest rate for 3.5 years. Remember, interest equals P times R times T. So our interest is going to be our principal amount of $5,000 times our rate in decimal form times the number of years. So if we put that in our calculator, we end up with 5,000 times 0.06 times 3.5 to get a grand total of $1,050 in simple interest. So we have 4 very important equations today, along with how to apply our equations. And note that you will need to know all 4 equations on your summative. So make sure you write them down as we go. The radius, that's our first word today. The radius is the line from the center of our circle to any point on the outside of our circle. So in green, I drew in what our radius is. And when we use an equation, radius, or R, equals the diameter divided by 2. So R equals D over 2. Radius is from the center out to the edge. So now we talk about diameter. If radius is only half, diameter goes from one edge through the center to the other edge. Notice this would be a radius, this would be a radius. The diameter is all the way across, so it's 2 radii. So the equation for diameter is D for diameter equals 2 of the radius, or 2 times R. Now that we know our formulas for radius and diameter, which interchange, we're going to figure out how to apply these to problems. So our first problem says the circle has a radius of 7 centimeters. What is the diameter? First, let's recall the radius is only from the center out. So it's half the circle, while diameter goes all the way across. So radius times 2 equals the diameter. We can also say diameter is 2 times R for radius. So what is the diameter? Diameter equals 2 times our radius is 7. So it equals 14 and our label is centimeters. Diameter is 14 centimeters of that circle. Our next problem gives us the diameter. And remember, diameter goes from one edge all the way across. And the circle has a diameter of 13 inches. What is the radius of the circle? Remember, the radius is our diameter divided by 2. So diameter is 13. If we divide it by 2, we end up with the radius equals 6.5, and our label here is inches. Next we have the word circumference. Circumference is the entire outside of a circle. So circumference is essentially, it's like a circle perimeter, or the perimeter of our circle. It's the whole outside of our circle. And so to find the circumference, we take our circumference, and that equals the diameter times pi. We can also say circumference equals 2 of our radius times pi. So d times pi or 2r pi. Both works for circumference. And for this unit, pi is our irrational number, and we're always going to use 3.14 for pi. So now that we know this formula for the circumference of a circle, remember circumference equals 2 times r times pi, or diameter times pi, however you want to do it. It has this circle has a diameter of 10 centimeters. What is our circumference? So because we're given a diameter of 10, I'm going to use this. So I can say circumference equals 10 times pi. So 10 times, remember pi is 3.14 for our case, and when we multiply we get 31.4 for the circumference. And because circumference is like area, our label is going to be simply centimeters. Our next equation is going to be for area. And remember, area is the entire inside. And to find the area of a circle, we take pi times our radius squared. Also, remember, our radius is from our center to the edge. So we take our radius squared times pi, and don't forget pi, we're going to use 3.1 for always. Do not use the pi button on a calculator. Now let's apply our equation. The radius of a circle is 7 centimeters. What is the area of the circle? Remember, area equals pi times r squared. So our area is 3.14 times 7 squared. First, figure out 7 squared. So we have 3.14 times 49. And when we figure that out, we end up with area is 153.86. But don't forget to label. If we have centimeters and it's area, it's squared centimeters, or centimeter squared. And that's it. So, what I would suggest for today is make sure that you can confidently list all 4 of these equations for the radius, diameter, circumference, and area, and maybe potentially put them on one sheet of paper to help you with today's IXL assignments. Also, feel free to work ahead on your 10 marks. Never hurts to get a head start.